Hey guys, how's it going? So, another video, another day. I hope everybody's taking care of themselves. Practicing social distancing. Okay, make sure you're washing your hands. Um, we are in lockdown now. Uh, so please take care of yourself. Stay at home as much as possible. Okay. We are still doing this. We began this week with Edulastic. I know that we've had some classes that's been kind of hard to get connected, but hopefully we can fix this issue. All right. I'm still posting these videos. All right. And trying to see if this helps any people at all. Thank you for all of you that have been turning in your work, taking pictures, scanning it, sending it to my email to Class Dojo. I appreciate that. If you're not able to print this out, you can always copy this on a other white sheet of paper. There's no problem with that for me. All right. Other than that, if you have any other questions, you can always send me a message or an email, and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. Right. So today, we begin with this video with going over the problem set for lesson 3. All right, going over the problem set for lesson 3, and then after that, move on to our lesson of the day, which is lesson 4. All right, so let's get on with it. For a problem set for lesson 3, it says calculate the area of each shape below. Figures are not drawn to scale. All right, so there was 2 ways that you could have done. You could do this. You can find the area of this triangle, and then find the area of this triangle. Add both of those areas, and it's gonna give you the area of the entire triangle. Or the other method is you can add this base and this base, get that sum, and multiply it by this height, and it will give you the area of this triangle. All right, I myself am gonna add base plus base and multiply times the height. At the end of the day, the formula for finding the area of a triangle is base times height times 1/2. All right, so I'm gonna look at the bases here, and I know that one of the bases is 3.3 and the other base is 6.1. I'm gonna add them together. So that's 3.3, and this right here is 6.1, and I'm gonna add them. 3 plus 1 is 4, bring down the decimal, and 3 plus 6 is 9. All right, and then let's do this. So our our area equals our base, which our entire base is 9.4, times our height, which is 4.4, times 1/2. All right, so now I have that. That's my I added this base plus that base. 3.3 plus 6.1 gave me 9.4. There's the work. Times the height times 1/2. And then on myself, I'm gonna make it into a fraction, or kind of look like a fraction, so I can multiply across. And I'm gonna multiply 9.4 times 4.4. And that's gonna let me know what my numerator is. 4 times 4 is 16. Carry the 1. 4 times 9 is 36. Plus 1 is 37. We get in a 10th place. Again, is 16. Carry the 1. 37. Let's add the numbers. That's 6. 7 plus 6, I'm sorry, is 13. Carry the 1. 7 plus 3 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. Carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. How many numbers are after the decimal? 2. 1, 2. Okay, so our A equals 41.36 divided by, and here 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, and our last step is to divide, and that's gonna let us know what's the area of the giant triangle. This one outside. 2 goes into 4 2 times, which is 4. 0, 1. It does not go into 1. Bring up the decimal. Bring down the 3. 2 goes into 13 6 times, which is 12. There's 1 left, bring down the 6, which is 8. Okay, and no remainder. Okay, so our area for this triangle is 20.68. Okay, inches squared. All right, if you need to pause this video, look at the steps. That's awesome. All right, let's move on to the next one. I'm gonna use another pen. I'm gonna use a red pen for this one. Again, base times height times 1/2. Okay, so I'm gonna combine the bases here. This is one base, which is 8. Okay, and this is another base, which is 16. Okay, so I'm gonna show the work here. 8 plus 16 is 24. So this entire base is 24 meters. Okay, so I'm gonna continue right here. My base is 24 times my height is this one, which is 14 times 1/2. Okay, next step is I'm gonna help myself create these into fractions so I can multiply going across. Okay, and 24 times 14 is 4 times 4 is 16. Carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 4 times 1 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. 6. That's 13. The other one. 336. Okay. And then 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 2 is 2. And we're going to divide 2 by 336. That's going to let us know what's the area of this triangle. It goes in 1 time, which is 2. Remainder 1, bring down the 3. 2 goes into 13 6 times, which is 12. 1, bring down the 6. And 2 goes into 16 8 times, which is 16. So our area for this triangle is area equals 168 meters squared. Okay, again, if you want to pause this video, look at those steps. It's awesome. Okay, we found the area of the entire triangle. And I'm going to move on to this one. These were challenges, all right? These were challenges. I did see that a lot of people got this. Okay, again, there's 2 methods that you can do this. Okay, you can either find the area of this triangle, find the area of this triangle, and then find the area of this. This is a square, if you see, because all sides are equal. That's 12, that's 12, that's 12, that's also 12. So it's a square. So a lot of you, every single one of you found the individual area of each shape that works. Or what you can do, if you look at this, okay, you can combine this triangle with this one, and it puts it together and makes an equilateral triangle. Which if you put these 2 together, okay, if you put this one and that one, it'll look like a triangle like this if you put them together. Okay, it'll look like this. If you see, that's the left side, and if you see, this one is the right side. If you put them together, they create that. Okay, and that this is 5 feet. That's 5 feet. Well, if you combine base and base, both bases make 10 feet, and your height, which is right here, is 12 feet. Okay, so I'm focusing on the triangle first. So now I can use the actual formula. Base and height times 1/2. Okay, A equals base and height. So now I can replace it. The bases for the entire triangle is 10 times the height, which is 12, times 1/2. Okay, at any moment when you want to pause this video, pause it. Okay, I'm gonna make it over 1, make them into fractions, a little bit easier to multiply for me. And 10 times 1, 10 times 1 is 10, times 12 is 8 equals 120. And that's 1 times 1, which is 1, and 1 times 2, which is 2. And then the area of this triangle, 120 but divided by 2, is 60 feet square. So now I know, and I'm going to put it like in a bubbly line just to remind myself that that's the area of these two triangles combined. Okay, so if you think about it, since it's two triangles, the area of this triangle is 30 feet square. The area of this triangle is 30 feet square. If I combine them, it's 60 feet square, right? And now I'm just gonna find the area for the square that kind of looks like this. And it's saying 12 feet, 12 feet, 12 feet. Now on this one, they didn't write 12 feet, but you know that it's still 12 feet because this side is equivalent to that one. So 12 feet. And the formula for finding the area of a square is length times width, okay? Or base times height. So it's basically 12 times 12, okay? Which 12 times 12 is area equals 8 times width, okay, is 144 feet square. Okay, that's the area of the square. Now I'm gonna add these two areas, okay, 60 and 144. So the area of this entire shape is 4, that's 10, carry the 1, 2, so 204. So the area for this shape, area equals 204 feet squared. All right, I hope this helped. Here's the actual work for it. Okay, you gotta take it one step at a time, like I was explaining. If you want to find the area, and this one you could have done 5 times 12, okay, base times height. 5 times 12 is 60, and then divided by 2, which is, there's your 30, okay. This one too would have been the same thing, 5 times 12, which is 60, divided by 2 is 30. That's, and 30 plus 30, you get your 60. And then here, now your square, if you do 12 times 12, it's 144, which I got here. I added the 60 and the 144, okay, and got 204. So the area for this entire shape is 204 feet squared, okay. Move on to number 4, this bigger one. So if you notice here, again, you could have found these 4 triangles, they're the same. They have the same measurements, all right? If you notice, the base for this triangle is 24. 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 These two triangles share the same height, which is 7. These two triangles share the same height, which is 7. You can either find the area of each triangle if you want, or like myself, I'm gonna combine this base and I'm gonna combine this base. So that means that I'm gonna add 24 plus 24, okay? So I do my work here, okay? So I'm gonna focus on finding the area of this triangle, this entire thing right here that I'm gonna highlight in red, okay? I'm gonna try to find the entire area of that one, but first I'm gonna focus on their bases. This is one base, which is 24, that's the other. So I'm doing 24 plus 24, okay? 24 plus 24, which is 48. So now I know that my base, my entire base is, okay, it's 48, okay? And I'm actually gonna make like a little tally mark here, I don't care. It's 48 meters. Okay, so that means that this one is also going to be 48, all right? So I'm gonna use base times height times 1/2. So I said that my base is 48 times my height is 7 times 1/2. And I'm gonna create these into fractions so I can multiply across. And let's see what 48 times 7. 48 times 7 is 56. Carry the 5. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 3 is 336. And this one is divided by 2. Okay, and now I'm gonna divide by 2. 2 goes in, I'm sorry, this is 1. 2 goes into 3 one time, which is 2. 1 left, bring down the 3. T goes into 13 6 times, which is 12. 1 left, bring down the 6, and it goes in 8 times. No remainder. So the area for this giant triangle is 168 and kilometers squared. Okay, that's triangle 1. Now if you think about it, you don't have to really do all over again because this triangle is the same as that one. So if the area for this one is 168 kilometers squared, the area for this one is also going to be 168 kilometers squared. And you can even label it like right here, triangle 1, and this one triangle 2, just to help you, remind you. Okay, so I don't have to go back. If you want to do it again and redo it, awesome. Okay, but if this triangle is the same as that one, just remember, if this is 168 kilometers squared, this triangle, these two triangles together are also going to be 168 kilometers squared. Right, now I'm going to find the area for this parallelogram. If you notice, my base right here is 35. Okay, the area to find the formula to find the area of parallelogram is A equals base times height. Okay, so the base for this parallelogram is 35 times the height, and here I did it for you. Okay, it's basically 24 plus 24. If you add them together, is 48 times 48. Okay, and now we can actually multiply, and it'll let us know what's the area of this parallelogram. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 4 is 24. This one, 8 times 3 is 24. Carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 4 is 14. And then add them. 0. 4 plus 4 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6. 1,680. Okay. So the area, I'm going to show here now the parallelogram. The area of that parallelogram is 1,680 kilometers square. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them. Okay. This is 0. 8 plus 8 is 16. And 16 plus 8 is 24. Carry the 2. 6 plus 6 is 12. Plus 6 is 18. Plus 2 is 20. Carry the 2. Wait. Oh, I think I made a mistake here. Okay. Put them this manner. Okay. I made a huge mistake right there. I'm sorry, you guys. Now I set it up correctly. Okay. My bad on that. Okay. So I apologize for that. I didn't set it up correctly. All right. But that's how it is. So that's my area. Okay. For my parallelogram and my area for each triangle. Okay. Ignore this solving situation. Okay, I made mistakes too. I'm sorry, but I noticed my mistake before I made it worse. Okay, so now here's my setup. And here we go. Okay, just to clarify again, the area of my parallelogram, my area of one triangle, and my area of the other one. Okay, 8 plus 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 6 plus 6 is 12. Plus 8 is 20. Plus 1 is 21. Carry the 2. And 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so now the area for this entire shape is 2,016 kilometers squared. Okay, it is a mission. I did give it out as extra credit, but I still wanted to go over it, explain it. Some of you guys got it, which is super cool. Okay, we will be facing these in the future. Okay, but it's good to practice from now. Again, I apologize on this right here. These numbers should have been shifted one space to the right using place value. I was able to fix my mistake and set it up correctly. So this is the actual way to write it down, right? If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, on that, jumping to number 5, and it says, Emmanuel is building a fence to make an enclosed play area for his dog. The enclosed place area will be in the shape of a triangle with a base of 48 meters and an altitude of 32 meters. Okay. How much space does the dog have? So I don't have much space here. Okay. I'm gonna probably do it here just so I have a kind of an idea of what it is. Okay. The base is, okay, it's 48, and the altitude, or in other words, the height is 32, and we're using meters. Okay. So I'm gonna use the formula base height times 1/2. Okay, my base, they told me it's 48. My height is 32 times 1/2. I'm gonna put those into fractions, and I'm gonna multiply 48 times 32. Okay. So let's see here. 48 times 32. That is 16. Carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 96. That is 24. Carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Okay. 9 plus 3 is 13. 1536. Okay. 1536 is what I got. 1536. In other words, 1,536, and we're gonna divide that by 2 and see what our area is. And we're gonna divide this bad boy by 2. 2 goes into 15 7 times, which is 14. 1 left, bring down the 3. 2 goes into 13 6 times, which is 12. 1 left, bring down the 6, and it goes in 8 times. No remainder. So our area is 768 meters squared. Okay, so that's how much space the dog has to play. Yeah, 768 meters squared. So that's a big area. That's a big area. All right, there's the steps right there. Simple. Okay, need to pause it. Chauncey's building a storage bench for his son's playroom. The storage bench will fit into the corner and against 2 walls to form a triangle. Chauncey wants to buy a triangular shape cover for the bench. If the storage bench is 2.5 feet along one wall and 4.5 feet along the other wall, how big is the cover space to cover the entire bench? So in other words, it's telling you to find the area. Okay, so for example, I'm gonna use, I think this is the bigger side. Okay, so I'm gonna say that this side is the 4 1/4 feet, which is this one, and the other wall is the 2.5 feet. Okay, the 2.5 feet. My bad on that mistake. 2.5 feet. Okay, this is a 1. Okay, so I'm getting the numbers from here. So I'm gonna use the same formula. Okay, I'm gonna use base times height times 1/2. Continue over here. We said that the base is 4 1/2, or 4 1/4, I'm sorry, times the other wall, which is 2 1/2, times half. I'm gonna turn these into improper fractions. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17, and we're gonna do that over 4, which is this 4 right here. This one, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And do that over 2 times the 1/2. Okay. And now I'm going to multiply these, which 17 times 5, okay, is 75 if I'm correct. 5 times 7 is, ooh, never mind. Thank God I'm double checking my work. That's why I always tell you guys to double check your work. I was trying to do mental math. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 3, 85. So let me fix this mistake. 85. And now here, 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 times 2 is 16. Okay? And now I'm going to divide 85 by 16. And that should let me know the area of that triangle. Okay? And it goes in, I think, if I'm correct with my, that's 30. Yep. 5 times, which is 80. I have 5 left, and I'm gonna circle them in red, and here are our numbers. 5, 5, 16. So our area is gonna be 5, 5, 16, okay? So this one is 5 and 5/16 feet square. All right, if you have any questions on that, okay, some of the other work as well, let me know. Okay, pause the video, rewind it. Okay, write an expression to show how you would calculate the area looking at this triangle on the side. Okay, what we're going to do is we're basically using base times height times 1/2. Okay, this is an acceptable answer. Okay, this one you can, a lot of people I saw that they said base plus base times height times 1/2, because they added this base, they added that base plus base, and then they multiplied those bases with the height and then times 1/2. All right, and then identify each part of the expression it relates to the triangle. So the 7 inches represents one of the bases. The 3 inches is another base. And the 4 inches represents your height, or what we've been calling also altitude. Okay? Any questions on that? Let me know. That's what we have to do on that one. Okay? And the last one. Okay? I don't have much space here, so I'm gonna continue on this piece of paper. Okay? It says the floor of a triangular room has an area of 32.5 square meters. If the triangle's altitude is 7.5 meters, write the equation to determine the length of the base in meters, then solve the equation. So I'm gonna create kind of like a triangle here. Okay. And it's saying that the area, so inside this triangle, there's 32.5 meters squared. That's the actual area. Remember that the formula is area equals base height times 1 times 2. 1/2, I'm sorry. And then it's telling us that the base, the altitude, which is this, the altitude is 7.5 meters. Okay, so what we're trying to find is the base. How many meters is that? Okay, so we plug this in. For the area, we know the area already. We're gonna plug in 32.5 equals, we don't know what the base is. Okay, times the height, which the height is 7.5, times 1/2. Okay, I'm gonna turn these into fractions, in proper fractions. 2 times 32 is 64, plus 1 is 65/2, equals base. This is 2 times 4, which is 14, plus 1 is 15/2. Okay, times 1/2. Multiply going across, 65/2 equals B, 15 and 4. I want to leave this by itself, B, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocals on both sides of the equation. These cancel out. Now I have B by itself and multiply across. 65 times 4, that's 20, carry the 2. That's 24 260. Double checking. 5 times 4 is 20. Here's the 2, 24, 20, 260. And 15 times 2 is 30. And I'm gonna look at here. I'm gonna help myself out, make it a little bit simple. I'm gonna kill the zeros. Okay. Now I have left 26 over 3, and I can divide. Okay, 3 goes into 26 8 times, which is 24. You have that left. And here are your numbers: 8, 2, 3. So the base of this triangle right here, okay? So the base for number 8, base equals 8 2/3 meters. All right, that's lesson 3. If you have any questions on that, let me know. All right, I'd be more than happy to help. Okay, more than happy to help on that. So I'm gonna move on to lesson 4. Okay, and begin with this. Okay, lesson 4, which it says the area of all triangles using height and base. Okay, I want you guys to begin the lesson in this part right here, right above classwork, okay, and the opening exercise. I want you guys to write down this: altitude equals height, okay? They're both the same thing, so I just put an arrow indicating that if you hear the word altitude, it's gonna be the same thing as the height, okay? It's like saying equivalent or equal, okay? Reduce, smallest terms. Okay, they're synonyms to each other. So if I tell you what's the altitude of the triangle, I'm also saying it's the same thing as saying what's the height of the triangle. All right. If you need to pause the video, pause it. I'm gonna move on. Okay, and it's the instructions right here. It says draw and label the altitude of each triangle below. Okay. So if I look at the first triangle, which is this one, okay, I want to find the altitude, where in other words, I want to find the height. Okay, I want to find the height, and the height I can do it right here. Okay, and it says to label the altitude, so I'm actually gonna use the word altitude. Okay, here you can also, above it, I'm gonna write down the word height under the instructions, just so you know that it's the same. Okay, and I'm taking it a step further, and once you have that, so there's kind of the altitude right there, huh? And this actually creates a right angle, okay? But I'm just labeling it there, and this I'm gonna call it an acute triangle, okay? And why is it an acute triangle? Because it has acute angles in them, and it has acute angles, and acute angles are more. This is the word more than 0 degrees and less than 90. So these angles measure all the way from 1 degree to 89 degrees. So these 3 angles in here. Okay, this is one angle. This little mouth right here, that's one angle. That's another angle. And this one is a third angle. These are all acute triangles. I'm sorry, acute angles. It says this triangle has acute angles in it. It creates an acute triangle. All right, so we're taking it a step further, having a little bit more knowledge with these types of triangles. All right, this is the information for it. I would recommend you guys pause it so that you're able to copy down this description. Okay, because I will be moving on. Once you finish writing that, make sure you continue playing your video. Okay, the next one is this triangle right here, and it's telling us to label the altitude. The altitude is this one right here, which is another word, that's the height, right? So I'm gonna label it altitude. Okay, let's remember, it's the same thing as height. Okay, and if you look at this triangle right here, after labeling the altitude, if you see the angle, this angle right here, it has that even, this is your context clue, that's your tip, lets you know that this is a right angle. So since this triangle has a right angle, this is called a right triangle. All right. And why is it called a right triangle? Because it has right angles in it. And what right angles are, right angles are exactly 90 degrees. This is the word are. Right angles are exactly 90 degrees. They're not 89, they're not 91, they're exactly 90. Okay? Again, pause the video, write down this description. Okay? So I can continue on in the very last one. Okay? We want to look at the height or the altitude for this triangle right here. And it's right here. I can create one from top to bottom. Okay. And this is the altitude. All right. And if you see this angle right here, this is a very big open angle. Okay. When it's more than 90 degrees, those type of angles, we call them obtuse angles. So since it has an obtuse angle, it's called an obtuse triangle. Okay. And here's a description of obtuse angles. Obtuse angles are greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. So obtuse angles are anywhere from 91 degrees to 179 degrees, right? Again, pause your video, write down this description, okay? Here's a 3 description of all of them, okay? Just reviewing it again really quick. I drew the height here, okay? I could have done one outside here as well, but I preferred inside. Easier for me, okay? There's my altitude, or in other words, my height, okay? And it's an acute triangle because the inside of the triangles, there's acute angles, and these angles measure more than 0 degrees, but less than 90, okay? This is the altitude for this one, which is a right triangle. Why is it a right triangle? Because it has a right angle, and right angles measure exactly 90 degrees. And this one right here, this is the altitude, okay? And it's an obtuse triangle. Why? Because it has an obtuse angle, and these angles measure more than 90, but less than 180. So it's between 91 and 179 degrees. Okay. If you need to pause it, pause it. If not, I'm going to move on. Okay. Now pay attention to what I'm doing here. Okay. I'm jumping directly. I'm at page 13. Okay. I'm at page 13, and I'm going to jump automatically into page 15. Okay, I'm jumping to page 15, and I'm jumping to exercises 6 through 8. So 1, 6, 7, and 8. All right. And I explained it in the virtual classroom. Okay. So in this one as well, okay, there are triangles, and the area to find triangles, the formula for an area is base times height times 1/2. Same thing for this one. 8 equals base and height times 1/2. Right? So we're gonna do one triangle at a time. So I'm gonna locate my base for this one, which is this one right here. This is my base for this triangle. So I'm gonna say area equals, okay, 24 times my height. This is my height, and I'm gonna use a red one. A red marker, I'm sorry, a red pen. That's my height, okay? This is not your height there. Remember I told you these diagonal lines, these legs are not the height. This is the height from top to bottom, or bottom to top. My height is 8 inches, okay? And then I can't forget the times 1/2, okay? Now I'm gonna make these into fractions, which is 24 over 1. Times, and I'm continue using the red to represent the height, 8 over 1 times, and lastly the 1/2. Now I'm going to multiply across. 24 times 8. 24 times 8 is 32. Carry the 3. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 is 19. So it's 192. Area equals 192. And this is 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 2 is 2. So I'm going to divide 192 by 2. And that should let me know what's the area of this triangle. All right. 2 goes into 19, 9 times, which is 18. 19 minus 18 is 1. Bring down the 2. 2 goes into 12 6 times, which is 12, no remainder. So the area for this triangle, okay, area equals 96. I'm getting my 96 for here, divided 192 by 2. And then the units are inches squared. Okay. Okay, if you want to pause the video, look at the steps. Okay, pause it. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, and I'm gonna jump to the next one, which is number 7. And follow this formula. Okay, this is my base right here. Again, I'm using this pen, purple or blue. Okay, so I'm gonna say area equals my base, which is 12 3/4, times the height, which is this one right here, from top to bottom. This is the altitude. Okay, which I'm using red is 9 1/2, I'm sorry, times the 1/2. I'm gonna create these mixed numbers into what, people? Mixed numbers, okay? I'm gonna use the C method. 4 times 12 is 48, and 48 plus 3 is 51, and I'm gonna do it over 4 times, I'm using the red to represent the height. 2 times 9 is 18, and 18 plus 1 is 19, and I'm gonna do it over 2 times 1/2. And now I'm gonna multiply across, and let's see how much is 51 times 19. 1 times 9 is 9, and 5 times 9 is 45. 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 5 is 5. 9, 5 plus 1 is 6. 969 over, and then 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. So I'm gonna divide 969 by 16, okay? And we are going to find the area for that triangle. And I think it's 6 times, yes. 6 times, because 16 times 6, that's 36, carry a 3. So if it's in perfectly, just double checking. 6 goes into 16 96 times. So it's 0, and then bring down the 9. And 16 does not go into 9 anytime, so it's 0. And 0 times 16 is 0. There's 9. So here's my remainders. Okay. 60, 9, and 16th. And if I write it into a mixed number, okay, A equals 60, 9, and 16th. And the units are feet square. All right. And that's the area for this triangle. Okay, you can pause the video again, look at the steps, what I did. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. And the last one, okay, it says draw 3 triangles. I'm gonna draw an acute. Okay, I'm gonna draw an acute angle. I'm sorry, an acute triangle. Kind of something like, it doesn't have to be super perfect. Okay, kind of something like that. Erasing that, kind of something like that. The next one is a right triangle, kind of like that. And then the last one in obtuse. Kind of looks like that, okay? And it's asking them to have the same area, okay? So this one, for example, I'm gonna say this is 4 meters. The base is 4 meters, and the altitude or the height is 2 meters. And I'm gonna use this to my advantage, okay? It says figures are not drawn to scale. That means that you can make them worth whatever you want. And in reality, I mean, this is probably, if I actually use a ruler, it's not actually 12 3/4 of feet. It's probably like 1 inch. Okay, so that means that it's not drawn to scale. We're not actually using the real measurements. So in this one as well, I'm gonna use the same thing. I'm gonna say 4 meters, 2 meters, all right? And then for example, this one, I'm just gonna change it a little bit and I'm gonna flip them. I'm gonna say the base is 2 meters and the height, which is, I'm gonna connect it. Okay, there's my height. I'm gonna make it 4 meters, all right? So again, they have the same numbers, 4 times 2, 4 times 2, 4 times 2, right? Because we're using the formula area equals base height times 1/2. All right, so we can say area equals 4 times 2 times 1/2. Okay, in this case with this one, this would be 2 times 4, but again, the answers come out the same. Make them into fractions. 4 times 2 is 8, times 1 is still 8. So area equals 8 over 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2. So the area for all these 3 triangles is 4 meters squared. All right, and there it is. Your explanation is right here. Okay, because you're gonna multiply your base times your height and multiply that times 1/2. All right, that's your lesson for today, you guys. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. Shoot me a message through Class Dojo, through my email. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. And I want to go over the homework really quick, just explain what my expectations are. All right, and so you guys don't get confused with that. Okay, so this is your problem set. This is one of 2 pages. Okay, base times height times 1/2. You're gonna use these 3, the same formulas that we've been using. Base and height times 1/2. Okay, this one, I'm handing out extra credit if you're able to solve it. All right, if you're able to solve it. Okay, I showed you a video from the previous lesson. In this same video, I'm sorry, to solve the shape that we did. Okay, this one is just taking a whole step further. If you're able to solve this, awesome. I'm handing out extra credit. Okay, for this one, it's on number 5. It's asking you guys to find the area. So to multiply the base and the height, okay, times 1/2 or divide by 1/2. Once you find the area, okay, once you find the area, it wants you guys to multiply the area times $2. So it's saying to multiply per square foot. So if your area, whatever area you get, once you find your area, multiply your area times $2, and that should let you know how much the new cell will cost. Okay, because at the end it's asking you how much money they're gonna have to spend. All right, if you have questions on that, let me know. Clarify that. On this one, they're comparing 2 students, okay, Darnell and Donovan, okay, and they're trying to calculate the obtuse triangle, which is this one right here. And it's telling you which of these 2 students actually followed and used the formula for finding the area of a triangle correctly. Okay, so it's either Darnell or Donovan. Write down which one and explain why they're correct. All right, here on the bottom, Russell calculated the area of the triangle. This is his work. Okay, and it's saying although Russell was told his work is correct, he had a hard time explaining why it's correct. Help Russell explain why his calculations are correct. So just, you at this moment, you're the teacher, okay? Just explain in your own words why is he correct? What steps did he take? What formula did he follow? What did he do to get his final answer? I mean, again, his answer is correct, but just explain. Imagine I'm a blind person and you're trying to explain to a blind person how to find the area of a triangle, okay? That's what you're gonna do here. And for this last one, okay, the larger triangle below has a base of, here's a base, 10.14 meters. The gray triangle has an area. So they found the area for this triangle right here, which is 4.325 meters squared. Determine the area of the larger triangle if it had a height of 12.2 meters. Okay, so even though I didn't write it here, what I would do right away, you guys, they're giving you the area on A, okay? Write down, I'm sorry, they're giving you the height, I'm sorry. I would write down 12.2 right here to represent the height, okay? To represent the height. So determine the area of the larger triangle that has a height of 12.2. So you're able to actually find the area of the entire triangle. You're gonna multiply base times the height. Here's your height, here's your base. Once you multiply your base and your height, divide by 2, and that's gonna give you the area for the entire triangle. And on B, what it's asking you guys to do is to find the area of the white triangle. How are you gonna find the area of the white triangle? You're gonna subtract the area from the big triangle from this gray one, and it'll let you know what's the area of this white one. All right. Let me know if you have any questions on that one. This one's also a challenge. Again, to find the area of this giant, the largest triangle, you're gonna multiply your base and your height. Here's your height right here. They give it to you for free, and I'm actually underlining it. Context clues. There's your height. Label it. Okay, 12.2. Multiply your base and the height, and that's gonna give you the, and then divide it by 2, and that's gonna give you your area for this triangle. Once you find the area for the largest triangle, subtract that area with 40.325, and that should give you the area for the white one. All right. If you have any questions, guys, let me know. This is the lesson. Okay, lesson 4. Hope you guys have a good day. Have a good one.